I'm gonna add some delays on my voice to make this sound super indie. If you don't know Clairo, she's an artist who went viral for a song called Pretty Girl in 2017. The music she'd made up until that point could be categorized as bedroom pop. It was like this murky, lo-fi melodic stuff that was mixed poorly, and it was influenced by poor recording equipment. By the way, I do want to clarify that I might have some implicit biases in this video. I interviewed Clairo for ID Magazine. I talked to her on the phone for like 30-something minutes, so obviously we're best friends, and everything I said in this video was a lie. I also like Clairo and I like her music. I mean, I don't like every song that she makes, and I don't find her to be the most groundbreaking, amazing artist. I'm not a stan. I'm just trying to be fair towards another artist. This genre is popular because it captures the essence of song without having these cleaned presentation elements. It's not made such a consumer product. It's more just like the song's good, so we like it for the song, and it's raw. Soon afterward, people turned on Clairo. Boy, I don't know. They found out her father was Jeff Cottrill, a marketing executive with connections to the record industry, and immediately a contingent was born. I like to call this contingent the Clairo police. They patrol the internet from Reddit to YouTube comment sections talking about how Clairo is fake, her DIY aesthetic is a facade, and her daddy made her famous, as opposed to the strength of her work. But there's a couple inconsistencies with this logic, like from the get-go. For one, what we might consider an industry plant rarely ever succeeds without their own merit. Take artists like Madison Beer and Austin Mahone as examples that no matter how much industry push you get to start your career, it doesn't make you immediately successful. People won't pay attention to the shit they don't want to pay attention to. So to insist Clairo as an artist doesn't have any merit on her own or has little merit, it's misguided. Aside from this, Clairo has made music since 2013. Did she not have a father until 2017? If her music had no merit, then why wouldn't any old thing she put out gain this massive industry push everyone's so certain exists back when she started making music, like years ago? Regardless, we can put aside some of the speculation off rip because there's an actual article wherein Clairo talks about how her dad helped her grow in the music industry. It's in this little hack publication called the New York Times. Regardless of whether you feel like she's manipulating her story in these interviews and that the whole truth isn't out there, the point is there's no real evidence you can point to say she hasn't earned at least a good portion of the attention she's gotten. People who succeed have advantages. Eminem had like a tape sent to Dr. Dre out of nowhere, and he had dope artists around him to help him grow. But nobody's gonna accuse Eminem of not being self-made when his situation was clearly awful to begin with. We know his biography. Beyonce had professionals on her team, fathers working in the professional industries since she was a preteen. They were pushing her since she was a preteen. But that doesn't make her not a self-made artist. It doesn't make her not DIY to some extent in how hard she's pushed herself. I understand it's different because Clairo is in a DIY-oriented genre where people are looking for people to do everything by themselves and construct the microphones with their bare hands and shit and instruments, like whatever the fuck it is. This stuff escalated to a point where now there's some sort of internet feud between her and an artist named Charles because Charles claims None Lover, her song from 2015, was the original song that Clairo ripped off for Pretty Girl in 2017. The video is similar, the song is similar. There are vast similarities between the two songs and videos, but that happens all the fucking time. People's styles and their art are similar all the time, so I guarantee your entire music database is filled with songs that sound like other songs. We just had this conversation about Childish Gambino and the Jace Harley song that sounded kinda similar. And by the way, don't even get me started on SoundCloud rap. If this is the precedent we're holding people to, then nobody's fucking original anymore, especially the artists we fucking like. There are differences between the songs that anybody can point out. The Clairo song has a chorus that's a lot of those chords come out and it's much more clear and poppy. The aesthetic of her video and her style is much more kiddie and happy girl, whereas Charles's aesthetic is much more dark. She has the cross and the uniform. But if we examine Clairo's music from 2013, 2 years before None Lover, here's the tea. She was making this music anyway. This is a song called Rec 396 from her 2013 release. And here's None Lover again. These songs sound kind of similar. Clairo was already doing the vocal effects. She was already doing that style of drum years before Charles' song came out. So does that mean that Charles ripped off Clairo? by this precedent we're holding this to, fucking yeah, I guess it is. This did not stop Charles from going on a Twitter rant about how Clairo's fake and how she hates her or whatever the fuck. She was just leaving all these hate tweets on Twitter. I mean, look at this incriminating photo. I mean, look at them. Clairo here, Charles here, and clearly she's winged eyeliner, the schoolgirl outfit, the cross, and the hair extensions. They both have faces and hair. And it didn't stop even Anthony Fantano, a great YouTuber, a guy who makes great music criticism, but he's going out on Twitter talking about how she's pretending to be DIY, just misinformed stuff that it takes 1 minute of research to figure out. Or people like this guy. This is a guy named Hype Sage, who I'm sure he's a cool guy. This is his most popular video. Clairo's self-made indie bedroom pop thing, the facade. Second most popular video, Clairo. Let's look up how many videos has Hype Sage made about Clairo. 1, 2, both of them most of his views. 3, 4. I'm gonna talk Clairo some more. 5, 6. Cannot get off Clairo. This is all tailored back to a point that I actually wrote about in a Medium article, which I dropped alongside this video. You can read that in the description below. I feel like people are obsessed with finding somebody to be fake, even though fakeness is just a part of life. Even though we all fake so much of what we do, we still shit on people like Jimmy Fallon and James Corden for presenting facade like it's such a horrible thing that we can easily see through, despite the fact they didn't really do anything to anybody. They're nice to everybody. We just don't like the way that they're nice to people. I think people are obsessed with this notion of real versus fake, whilst ignorant to the fact that the realest thing any person can do is the best thing for themselves and their situation. Clairo never came out and denounced her father, acted like, who's that?
You're not my dad!
Or acted like she did everything herself. She just did stuff in her bedroom, it gained attention, and she used the advantages that she had. She definitely had advantages, and she used them to get the best out of it that she could. The problem is because people don't like Clairo, and they don't like how she's successful, and they don't like her music, whatever it might be, they have biases, and they have to find small details to exponentially exaggerate them to the point where they can prove it's illegitimate, it's all fake, none of this is her, she's whatever the fuck. Make no mistake, Clairo's lucky, and she might be more of an industry plant than she lets on. That doesn't take anything away from her. A side note to end this story, there's an artist named Ollie Walter who's like 17 years old, and he made a tweet which was since deleted because he was being harsh towards Clairo about allegedly stealing Charles's wave and about having help from her daddy. I was put off by it, so I decided to have a conversation, and long story short, he's a really cool dude, and when he saw evidence that contradicted what he was saying, he deleted his tweet and cleared the air. I'm not saying he's a cool dude because he agreed with me. Who am I kidding? That's what I said. But we still don't totally agree on everything. That's fine. We can disagree. But the fact that this was turning into something visceral and filled with hatred of artists who haven't done anything to anybody except be successful and have advantages, that's the problem. And when you go around the internet constantly commenting about someone else and how fake they are, policing someone's life and their story, it might say more about you than it does about them. Thanks. I can record in horizontal too. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm not going to talk about this much more after this, but it's something that I wanted to point out, and I hope we can have more discussions like this in the future. Also, I write and I make music, so you should check that stuff out as well. Thanks.